1. The Lion of Judah. In the ancient texts of Genesis and Revelation, this creature isn't just a simple predator, it is a symbol of absolute sovereignty. Imagine a beast so powerful that its mere presence halts the movement of empires. The scriptural records describe it as a lion's whelp that stoops down and couches, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It represents the royal lineage of King David, standing as a warning to anyone who would dare to rouse it from its sleep. But here is the twist. This lion is also depicted as the only one worthy to open the seals of destiny. It isn't just about raw muscle or sharp claws. It is about the authority to rule over the fate of humanity. The Lion of Judah remains a chilling reminder that true power often waits in silence before it finally roars. It embodies a strength that is both ancient and terrifying, ensuring that the throne is never left truly unguarded for long. It is the king of the wild-made divine. 2. The Lamb of God. It sounds peaceful, doesn't it? A gentle creature meant for green pastures and quiet waters. But in the biblical narrative, the lamb carries a much darker and more heavy burden. This isn't a pet. It is a sacrificial vessel. Recorded in the book of John and the visions of Revelation, this creature is described as slain from the foundation of the world. The paradox is staggering. A tiny, defenseless animal that holds the keys to life and death. While the lion represents the king, the lamb represents the ultimate payment for debt. The imagery is visceral, a creature led to the slaughter without making a sound. However, the vision changes. The lamb eventually appears with 7 horns and 7 eyes, transforming from a victim into a cosmic judge. It is the most dangerous, gentle creature ever described, proving that even the smallest being can carry the weight of the entire world's sins. It is a mystery of vulnerability turned into total victory. 3. The wolf. Beware of the predator that doesn't look like one. In the teachings of Matthew, the wolf is the ultimate master of deception. Imagine walking into a crowd of friends only to realize that one of them is a ravening wolf wearing a sheepskin. The biblical wolf is never portrayed as a noble hunter. It is a symbol of destruction and greed. It doesn't just kill to eat. It kills to scatter the entire flock. The psychological hook here is the fear of the unknown. These creatures represent the false prophets who look soft on the outside but are lethal on the inside. The experiment of the wolf in the sheepfold always ends the same way, in total bloody chaos and the betrayal of the innocent. It serves as a permanent warning to look beneath the surface before offering your trust to a stranger. It is the hidden fang in the night. 4. The bear. A massive, lumbering force of nature that represents the brutality of ancient kingdoms. In the stories of Samuel and the prophetic visions of Daniel, the bear is a creature of terrifying strength. Imagine a beast rising on one of its sides, clutching 3 ribs in its teeth, a literal image of consumption. This animal wasn't just a hazard for shepherds like David. It was a symbol of the Medo-Persian Empire, known for its slow but unstoppable crushing power. The command given to this biblical beast is simple and haunting. Arise, devour much flesh. Unlike the lion's precision, the bear wins through raw mass and endurance. It reminds the viewer that some threats cannot be outrun. They simply wear you down until there is nothing left to defend. It is a walking mountain of fur and fury, a predator that does not negotiate. It only takes what it wants until the land is completely empty. Its strength is a crushing, relentless weight. 5. The eagle, the skyscraper of the ancient sky. In the book of Exodus and the revelations of the end times, the eagle is the primary symbol of divine protection and escape. Imagine a creature with a wingspan so large it can carry an entire nation away from the reach of a pharaoh's army. The text describes God carrying his people on eagle's wings, a metaphor for a speed and height that no earthly enemy could ever reach. But there is a sharp edge to this bird. The eagle is also an omen of judgment, circling over the fallen and the corrupt. It sees everything from its high perch with telescopic precision, whether it is providing a place of safety in the wilderness or descending like a bolt of lightning. The eagle represents a power that operates far above the laws of the earth. It is a majestic yet terrifying force that watches from the clouds, ready to intervene at any given moment. It is the ultimate eye in the sky. 6. The raven. the dark survivor of the apocalypse. Long before the dove brought back an olive branch, the raven was the first creature released from Noah's Ark. It flew back and forth over the dark, receding waters, surviving on the debris of a drowned world. This bird is the ultimate opportunist. In the Chronicles of the Kings, the raven takes on a bizarre new role. It becomes a supernatural delivery service. Imagine a prophet hiding by a brook, and every morning and evening, these black-winged scavengers bring him bread and meat to keep him alive. It is a strange and crazy irony. A bird that usually feeds on the dead is tasked with sustaining the living. The raven proves that in the biblical world, even the most unclean creatures can be used for a higher, mysterious purpose. It thrives in the darkness, moving between the realms of life and death with an eerie, silent grace that defies all natural logic. It is the shadow that brings life. 7. The Great Fish of Jonah. This is not a myth. It is a biological prison. Forget the whale of children's stories. The text calls it a great fish, prepared specifically for this moment. Imagine sitting in a pitch-black, acidic chamber for 3 days and 3 nights, surrounded by seaweed and the smell of death. This creature wasn't meant to kill him. It was meant to contain him. It was a living submarine, a biological vessel designed to transport a man back to the very place he feared most. The experiment of the great fish ends with a violent reset as the creature vomits the prophet onto dry land. It remains one of the most terrifying examples of divine intervention in history, showing that there is no ocean deep enough to hide from a calling that you were meant to fulfill. It is the belly of the deep made into a school. 8. The frogs. A plague of slimy, inescapable horror. In the Exodus of Egypt, these creatures weren't just a nuisance. They were a psychological weapon. Imagine opening your bread oven and finding it filled with cold, wet bodies. Imagine climbing into your bed and feeling them squirming under the covers. The frog was a direct attack on the Egyptian goddess of fertility, turning a sacred animal into a source of loathing. But the story goes deeper. In the final visions of Revelation, frogs reappear as unclean spirits coming out of the mouths of dragons. They represent the spread of corruption through speech, jumping from person to person until the whole world is infected. It is a reminder that small, seemingly harmless creatures can become a suffocating force of destruction when they appear in the thousands or in the shadows. They are the silent invaders that turn a home into a nightmare, proving that quantity can be its own form of lethal power. They are the cold, wet touch of judgment. If you've made it through this list without being swallowed by a fish or hunted by a wolf, you might as well subscribe.